Hello and welcome to the Intentional Design Mini Masterclass. So I'm going to leap straight in. What is intentional design? Well, intentional design is designing for impact. It isn't designing for the immediate result, like money in the bank. It is about designing for the long-term, bigger picture impact that you are creating. Because when you create your business, when you came up with your business, you came up with a vision of change. Whether or not you could articulate it or not is another matter, but you had that vision of change. And intentional design is about facilitating the bigger picture that allows you to design to create that impact, that change, that transformation. So it's about that movement, that state of change that you are catalyzing, facilitating through your business, because you are in the business of change. You are a change maker, a change creator, and a visionary leader. Whether or not you choose to accept that, that is what you are doing through your business. And therefore, you need to actually step back and see that bigger picture and design for that bigger picture. Because what we tend to do is we tend to measure the specifics, and that gets us trapped in the specifics. We tend to focus on the nuts and bolts, and that gets us trapped in the nuts and bolts. So we get into this sort of sticking plaster mentality of like, I need to fix this bit over here and this bit over here, and then we are never actually working on the bigger picture. And we need to, that's something that needs to be shifted and changed within the way we actually run our businesses, because that's not helping and it's not functioning. It's not functioning for people who are bringing forward conscious change. So let's think about your business, because your business is a whole. It is not the sum of its parts. And this is what I was just referencing, is that we tend to focus on the individual parts of our business rather than the whole of our business. It is an energetic whole, and every activity, everything that you do is contributing to the whole. So instead of compartmentalizing it, we actually need to bring it together. So this masterclass, for example, is part of a whole. It stands on its own, and it is whole within itself, but it is also a part of the whole of my business. It complements and adds value to the other things that I'm doing. And it is strategically designed to fill a role within the overall transformation that I am offering within the journey that I've created for my business. So intentional design is that strategic design to amplify the impact of each stage of the journey that you are bringing forward. And we normally, I think this is important because we normally focus exclusively on the individual stages. So if in the online world, that would amount to, have I got a lead generator? Have I got have I got a platform for sharing my blog or a podcast, and have I got a signature program? This is what we tend to, reductionist sort of approach of saying, right, I need these pieces, without actually ever taking that bigger view of the energetic impact that we are seeking to create through our businesses. So we need to actually reimagine that and redesign and rethink all of this, because it is a limiting behavior and thought pattern that exists within the existing business world. So how do we actually design to create that impact? Well, there is an optimum energetic frequency of that design, and for your business model. And that business model will actually have a natural follow on into specific types of activities that you need to run. Now, often we will discount some of the things that might be possible for our business because we think that they are either too far out, or we're not ready for them yet, or all sorts of things that come in. But there is an actual optimum setup and design for your business that amplifies the energy of that transformational vision that you had. And it's about finding that and working into that. So how is this energy best experienced is one of the questions you need to ask yourself. And then in terms of that, that's the sort of types of service that you want to be bringing forward. So for example, that energy may be best experienced in an intimate group setting, for example, maybe a retreat or something like that. Or it may be best experienced as an instructional video. It's not just to do with the content, it is to do with the energy of delivery. And then there's the rhythm of delivery. What's the pace? What's the beat of it? What's the intonation of it? For example, does it want to be delivered fast and furious, or does it want to be delivered slowly? Is that rhythm sort of like bam, 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 or is it bam, pause, bam, pause? You know, there's all sorts of things there that we need to actually look into about what is naturally asking to be designed and be created, because there are too many rules out there. There are too many prescriptive bits of advice out there about what a business should look like, and we're not listening to that energy of our business and tapping into the creative frequencies inherent in our businesses to do this design work. And there's another aspect to the design that is, I just don't think thought about, and that is that the way in which it's designed can massively impact on its ability to be received. Because of course the people who are receiving it are in a particular energetic state. So if we're not, so they need to be in a place where they can actually receive it. And that's something we need to factor into the design as well. Now, that both for the business itself and for the people who are on the receiving end of your business, there are specific states of change that we go through, because transformation is a process, not a one-time result. So there are stages that we have to go through, and at each of those stages, the energy is going to subtly shift. So again, we get into this thing that my business model is one-to-one work with these extra little bits on it. Here's the problem. As people are moving through that business, those states are changing. As you are growing, those states are changing. And if the way that you are actually responding to that through your delivery doesn't change, then you get stuck. And this is why people get this is why plateaus happen in your business. Energetic plateaus and practical plateaus happen because that's not anticipated and designed into your business. So the transformative impact of your business is scaled through the design and by the foresight that you put into that design process. And I think, that state change, that those energy shifts are not understood, let alone becoming a design factor. And that's something that we really, really seriously need to change, because otherwise you're stuck in this stop, start, or stop, completely revamp my business and redesign it and burn it to the ground and start again because you've changed. But it is possible to actually foresee that and work with it and move, and then so that you are moving through that. You know that it's coming, and you've designed and you've already prepared for the next stage of your business, because you know that you need to shift the model that you're delivering, or at least shift the focus. And it may be that you still keep some of that to bring people in, and yet you move on to the next level. That maintains your relevance to your audience as well. It allows you to keep growing with your audience. Otherwise, when you're stuck in a single place with a single model, then you can lose relevance to your audience, and then you're constantly scrabbling to bring more people in, when actually you want to be taking people on a journey with you. So the experience at each level is going to shift. Now, there is another aspect to this that we need to consider, and that is you. What is the optimum design of your business it is going to keep your energy at peak levels. Because there is no point in you coming forward to deliver a business that is actually depleting your energy. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had the conversation with clients and potential clients and just connections and my network, people who are designing their business to try and achieve a specific goal, and in the process, hardwiring their own burnout into their structure of their business. So we really need to shift. That's another conversation that needs to be had, because we need to shift that back. We need to shift it back into understanding what works for us and designing our business around them. And yes, there's some very practical aspects to that we have to think about. What do you want to earn from your business? How are you structured? How many clients do you need? Those are all practical things that we have to do. But first and foremost, we need to think about, what works best for you? How many clients can you manage? What format do you want to be doing it, and how fast do you want to be doing it? How often are you going to be holding client calls? What does that leave you with in terms of your ability to recharge? What does it leave you with in terms of your ability to promote your business and do the business development? All of those things that are absolutely essential, and if we don't make time for them, we are creating a crisis for ourselves down the line. These are things that we have to work at. But fundamentally, what does your energy best respond to? Is it doing things one-to-one? Is it doing it face-to-face? Is it doing it, is it delivering, do you prefer to speak, or do you prefer to write? These are all things that we need to think about in order to design a business that is energetically optimized, both for the transformational impact you're trying to do and for you as the person who has got to deliver it. Because if you're not there at 110%, then your business is not going to go very far. So these are all very important, as are the platforms that you choose. Which platforms bring out the best in you? It's all very well saying that, all my clients are on Facebook, but I can't stand Facebook. You're not bringing the best of you to the table if you're there. It is better for you to go somewhere else and find a way to make that platform work for you, because it's already bringing the best of you into play. Better to try and be creative there, because we are all inherently very creative, even if you don't feel it. Get creative, get innovative, and find a way to make what works for you work, rather than saying, I have got to go and do this, because that energy of got to, ought, should, must, it's an absolute energetic drain. It's just like, it's a great big sinkhole. It's not worth even going there. It is better to really lean into your own creative powers. So what formats work best for you, and what mix of activities is going to keep you buzzing and humming, because that's what we need. So these are all really important things to think about. Now, I will be honest that intentional design is not something that I can sort of like at the end of this say, right, go off and do this and you'll have an intentionally designed business. This is an in-depth thing. And these masterclasses are my way of helping you to understand the breadth and depth of what energetics does. So this is not something this is a particularly DIY. Now, I've got some things coming up in the future that will actually be able to help you go a little bit deeper into this. But there are some questions that you can ask yourself to get yourself on the way with this. So, for example, how will the energy of what you are delivering, no, I'm going to rephrase that. How will the energy of what you actually deliver, match the energy of what it is that you are aiming to deliver? Now, we can all come a cropper on that one, and there can be a mismatch between what you want to create and what we actually want to deliver and what we actually deliver. There's a question to ask yourself is about how do you maintain that match between that vision that you have of what you want to deliver and how you actually bring it into play. That could be to do with format, it could be to do with style, it could be to do with timing. There's lots of factors that may impact on your ability to match that. How will that impact how it is received? Now, if your energy is low or is mismatched in any way, what impact is that going to have on the reception of what you're doing? And if it is higher, how will that again impact on it? And, you know, in terms of the way in which you deliver it, how does that change? I mean, you can understand that if I was to do this in written form, it wouldn't work as well as doing it via video. So I could have done it as a series of blog posts, but honestly, I don't think it would have been received in the same way and understood. So that's why I'm choosing to do it on video. So there's lots of things that we can think about there. And sometimes, as I said, mentioned, we don't consider the way out choices because we think they're too far out, we're not ready for them. But what is there that you've often thought, oh, I'd really love to do that, but I'm not ready for it yet? Or I'd really love to do that, but I couldn't possibly. No way that would work for my business. Or I'd love to do that, but everybody's telling me that won't work for my business. So have a think about some of those things, because the clue's in there. If the pull is in there, then there's probably, it has the perfect space within your business model. When you let the energy share all of that with you, you will be surprised at what comes forward. You will be surprised at what comes forward, because it is not necessarily going to be what you expect. So much of the way that we function in business is head-led, and our perceptions and our filters really get in the way of connecting with that energy. And I see a lot of people connecting with the energy, but connecting through their filters, and therefore it gets distorted by their filters. What the way I work is actually try and jump you behind that so that you are connecting directly into what that energy should feel like. And when you do that, then you can actually deconstruct all of those perceptions and filters and bring forward what is actually needed. It's about you leapfrog right forward to understand what it is that you need to become and understand what it is that you're delivering. Because that's, you know, when you set up the business, that's what you're here for. That's what you were creating. So intentional design is that energetically matched to you to bring out the optimum of you. It is energetically aligned to the vision of transformation that you are creating. And it is designing that transformation into the structure of your business, allowing people to move through some natural stages and phases of growth, which you have seen, but at the same time also allowing your business to do the same and you to do the same. So intentional design is about capturing all those elements and bringing them into a whole, rather than having them as, my personal development is over here, this is what I'm doing in terms of my service delivery, this is my big vision, but none of those pieces are actually connected in terms of the energy of the model that you have. And that's how it facilitates and catalyzes big impact, because you are a visionary leader, you are a change creator here, and that's what you need to be aspiring to in everything that you're creating, and not letting your head get in the way. And this is the challenge of making what is yours to create manifest. And I have to say that doing intentional design in this way creates space for innovation. It creates the space for you to get really creative. And it lets you focus on that end goal and on that bigger picture. So, you know, it is a much bigger thing, and it is just deconstructing the way that we are taught to think about business, and just bringing it back to a place that we can actually hold it, and we have a grasp on it, because too often it's immensely overwhelming to have all of this out there and think, well, what do I do first? When actually we have it within us, in our power all the time, to be able to pull all of this back and just take control of it, and then let a whole lot of stuff drop away that we don't need, and just hold on to what is core for us, and, you know, let go of the little voices. So that is intentional design. if it's piqued your curiosity and you want to go deeper, please get in touch with me, book a call, and we can explore some of those options for you. The journey of transformation, which comes from intentional design, is a pivotal part of designing a business that is unique and uniquely yours, and is creating real transformation and impact. And that will be something that we'll be bringing forward to you in the future masterclasses, paid masterclasses and mini masterclasses. But for now, if you want to find out more about that, you want to look at it more deeply, you want to see how that can relate to your business, then please do get in touch, and we can have an informal conversation and chat and see where it can take you. Until the next time, bye.